It's a lot of moving pieces going on our side, y'all. So typically, I should be taking a break from trading with all the things that I got going on this week. But I got caught up in the market movements. I got caught up in all the volume. Um, as a fundamentals analyst and a fundamental trader, I really should have known better. When war breaks out again after a ceasefire, it's the last time to go in and take longs. I made two very big mistakes this morning that I'm going to have to go back and review and figure out what really happened. Number one is I over leveraged. The buy limit I set last night, perfect. I was willing to risk the $1,400, no problem. I was willing to risk the 1% on the account, no problem. It's the re-entry this morning that took me over my daily risk. And that I'm going to have to go and figure out later and say, why didn't I not save my chips for later in the session? Because there's going to be some great opportunities that present themselves. And I may have shot myself in the foot by using up all my ammo before I really got a chance to take advantage of that price movement. So it is what it is. But I do have to go back and review later so that we can avoid those mistakes happening. If you guys were on the NAS100 Masterclass last night, I appreciate all of you guys also being patient with some of those technical issues. All of them have been resolved. You'll be receiving an email in the next few hours with all the details going forward. But yeah, things are going to be a lot easier from now on. You guys are going to have access to the recorded section. And what I'm looking to do is actually just add the call link directly to these. So you'll go to like day one, it'll have a call link right here, and you'll just click the call link as opposed to everyone searching their emails and trying to do all that stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about? But I am down 3% on this challenge. Obviously, I'm not concerned because you guys know me. I'm very confident in my strategy. When you know what you're capable of, you don't really worry. But that doesn't mean that I can't be disappointed in my performance either. So you don't have to beat yourself up in order to hold yourself accountable. I think there's a very big culture today where people are trying to make each other feel better, and you're trying to make yourself feel better, so you don't really hold yourself accountable for making some big mistakes. For me, I think 100% of the time, if you fuck up, and I'm not talking about a loss where it was a part of the market conditions, or it was a regular loss as part of your strategy where everything lined up. This would have been a loss as part of the strategy, correct? Because it was an 88.6 play inside of the range. Everything is 100% valid. The only thing I did was over risk. You guys got me? And so it's very clear to distinguish between which actions really led to the loss. If you're taking away the wrong lessons from these losses or from mistakes, you're going to make the same mistake again. If you told yourself, oh, the reason I lost is because I traded the market open. No, right? Because I'm still holding on both of my accounts. I'm eating drawdown on my personal account. Like the challenge I couldn't care less about. It's not I couldn't care less. That's not true. I am taking the challenge serious. But my live accounts, I'm sitting a drawdown. It's not fun. And so what I'm telling myself is distinguishing between what actually went wrong is the only way to make sure it doesn't happen again. Most traders that I know will misdiagnose the problem, not make the necessary changes, and then repeat the same problems over and over again. The biggest issue this morning was the reentry, and it was the risk. So just to let you guys know, this is how I make sure that I'm taking a lesson away from every trade. Okay, if you lose a trade and you lose money, but you learn nothing, you just lost twice. Not only did you lose money, but you also didn't learn a fucking thing. It was a waste of an experience. This was a very healthy reminder for me that no matter how good I am at my strategy, that does not give me the permission to over leverage and over risk. And I know I say this all the time to you guys, we're all human. Like it's really fucking hard to win 20 trades in a row and not want to over leverage. I'm just promising you this. So we're all getting there. I'm gonna have to keep bringing myself back down to size. And luckily enough, the market does that for me. Anytime that we get ahead of ourselves, the market is going to be right there to remind us of our place in this game. So Good morning, everybody. Healthy reminders today all around. Great to have all of you with us. And this is your first live stream. Welcome. If it's not your live stream, if it's not your first, welcome back. My name is Roy Dunya. I'm a full-time day trader. I'm the co-founder of Chart Addicts. We're an educational platform focusing on personal coaching for traders. I live stream my live trading every morning just to show you guys how I make decisions, to show you my strategy in real time. So instead of having to promote what we're teaching and have to kind of like really, yeah, just constantly market and promote what we're teaching, let me just show you it working live. Let me show you it working over and over again, and eventually it'll click. Okay. I do need to change out of the shirt. I just got back from kickboxing and I'm sitting here right in the AC. I'm about to fucking, I don't know. Are you, any of you guys foreign? You know, foreign people have this thing, like the superstar. You can't just go sweating and sitting in front of the AC. You'll blow up. You'll explode. Who here has heard that from their foreign parents? We all been there. Okay. I took one trade this morning that was an acceptable loss, which was the buy limit that I had set at the 88.6. Why does this keep happening? Yo, I know some of you guys are very technically skilled. I've been using TradingView for 4 freaking years. All right. Whenever I draw something and I want to erase it, all I do is I hit Command Z, and all it does is take me back a few steps. It's the same as hitting this, okay? The undo. Why is it that it's like it's adding and putting all of these drawings from fucking 30 minutes ago as opposed to the most immediate drawings that I have right here? I don't know how that setting could have potentially got changed, but what the fuck is going on? Because literally what I'll do is I'll draw something and then I'm supposed to hit Command Z to make it go away. And it's just sitting right there. Guys, I have a very good feeling that the market is going to shoot back up. I can't take this on the challenge account because I'm way over the daily risk, but my live account is still active. If you want to re-enter this trade or have not entered, this is your chance. It's literally now or never. It's like right this second. You got a shot. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research and do your own analysis. However, I'm still in the trade on my live account. I am letting this one go through. I have no more fucking ammo on the challenge account. Even though I'm well below the maximum daily risk, I technically can take this trade. Based on the rules that I've set for myself, I will not take this trade. And so I have to literally miss out on a trade that might make me money. Might. Why? If I'm very confident in my strategy and I have a good feeling that this trade could make back the money I lost, why would I purposefully miss it? Because I'm making the decision as a risk manager first. It says try Control Z. I'm on a MacBook. There's yeah, no, it's Command Z. It's supposed to. Yeah. The reason I'm not taking this trade on the challenge account is because you have to make decisions based on risk management sometimes, or all the time. It's not about how much money can I make back on this trade. It's how much more money would I have to risk in order to take advantage of this trade. And that is not a number that I can be okay with. Because in order for me to get back in a meaningful way, I would have to risk putting myself into a deeper hole than I already am. And that's just something that's going to take me a lot longer to get out of. And so for that reason, fuck, dude. I know I'm saying all that, but everything in my body is telling me to re-enter this trade. I will follow my rules and I will have to pass on this on the challenge account, even though it could make me back my money. I'm going to make this decision as a risk manager to limit the amount of losses I've already taken. Because if this does lose, then I don't want to have taken an even deeper loss that I have to, 2-3 weeks to dig out of. So here's the responsibility that this is growth, yo. The old me would not have done this for damn sure. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt watching it. As long as it's a challenge account. As long as my live is good. I'm sitting in this DD, guys. I'm sitting in this DD, guys. Oh man. All right, let me go change my shirt. I'll be right back. Give me one quick second. If you have any questions, throw them up in the chats. But I'll be back in just one second. Right. We're back. Yo, is anybody here into exercise science or physical therapy or any of that stuff? Anybody here a physical therapist or an exercise scientist? Josh says I've been there. Brother, buddy, we all been there. All of us have been there. It ain't fun. He says lack of volume today. I don't think that's true at all. I don't think there's a lack of volume at all. Oh, it sounds like an underground Swedish club out here. Cody said just a hobbyist. Okay. Well, that definitely doesn't count. I mean, it does. You know what I'm saying? It's probably very useful for you, but I'm looking for, I want to say some professional advice. That's kind of pushing it, but I am looking for some guidance here. All right, let's talk about market conditions and why things are going crazy today after I close these blinds. Okay, cool. Ladies, gents, so markets are moving unbelievably fast today. In case you guys haven't seen what's happening on the gold side, gold is almost back at a potential re-entry. We had a massive spike yesterday. Now, these spikes are not uncommon, but they usually only happen when there's some kind of geopolitical event. You see spikes like this when a new president is elected, when there's a trade war that just got announced, and at the beginning of all of these wars and conflicts that came out from the past 12 months, we've seen spikes like this every single time. So what I want to point your attention to is that the market had a massive impulsive push up, and now it's back at the 88.6. I do see gold continuing from here. However, this is just gambling at this point because there's no way to tell how the world is going to respond to these geopolitical conflicts. Most likely, gold will continue to see, guys, we saw this yesterday happen live. Gold hit all-time highs. We had never seen gold hit 2150 before. And which is why we're seeing some selling pressure, because if you were a central bank or a private investor, you've been holding gold for a decade, waiting to get some kind of price pump to really make you rich, because everyone's been trying to get rich off gold, which is never going to happen, except for things like this. The ceasefire that was originally in place last week between Gaza and Israel, which had given everyone some optimism that this was not going to spill over into an international conflict, completely went out the window on Friday. The reality of the situation is the Hamas spokespeople that came out and they were talking about the hostage situation. What originally was happening is there was a ceasefire. They were exchanging hostages for a few hours a day, and they were trying to basically get this ball rolling. I think that both of them realized this was a very stupid idea. No. I think Hamas ended up realizing this was a stupid idea. Once Israel had their hostages back, there was nothing stopping them from going through a full-scale invasion. Hamas spokespeople came up and said that the majority of the hostages that were taken were there of some kind of like they weren't the targets. They were just circumstantial because they happened to be there. The release of the hostages has resulted in this. The majority of women and children from that were abducted and taken to Gaza have now been returned. From the Israeli side, they have returned some women and children that had been incarcerated in Israel. The only hostages that are left in Gaza are combatants. And so Hamas said, we ain't giving you guys your fighters back until you stop the bombardment. Israel said, give us back our people or we're going to flatten Gaza. And this is now they've gone back to full-scale war. This is a problem because people have to pick sides. Not people, but countries have to pick sides. This is where world wars come from. World War I didn't happen because of the geopolitical conflicts. It was Archduke Franz Ferdinand. It was something that happened in a very specific country that invited all of the allies of that one country that had been attacked to mobilize against another country. The NATO alliance puts America at a massive disadvantage here because when Russia and Ukraine, the entire Russia and Ukraine issue is over NATO. NATO expansion east, closer to Russia, puts them at danger because Ukraine is kind of a border between Russia and the rest of Europe. And so having a stronghold for NATO in Ukraine is a massive threat to Russia. So this whole global alliance game is going to end up making this conflict so much worse. And this is more complicated than Russia and Ukraine, because that one's very complex, but NATO was invented to keep the Soviet Union from taking over the rest of Europe. Okay, we got that. We stopped them from taking Germany. They're fucking gone. We haven't had the Soviets since the 90s. The Israel-Palestine conflict is extremely dangerous because you have the global superpowers who have the most leverage today on both sides of this conflict. You have Iran, which is a massive powerhouse in the Middle East when it comes to oil, when it comes to influence, and when it comes to the Islamic world. But you also have Saudi Arabia, who's kind of playing both sides of this. We have Saudi Arabia has great business dealings with America. They have great business dealings with Israel because they were just about to launch that trade deal. The largest countries in the world all beefing at the same time and having to pick sides is the worst case scenario. So if you see, why did gold see a massive spike? Because gold is traditionally known as a safe haven asset. Safe havens versus a risk asset. A risk asset is something you buy which has a lot of risk but high return. A safe haven is something that you buy that has low risk and low return. You're not buying gold to get rich. You're buying gold to not lose all your money. And occasionally you get massive spikes like this and you get rich if you're a gold trader. Okay, so UJ just hit break even. What the hell's going on? Okay. I do see the dollar potentially rejecting from here. So if we break above the 103.7, the dollar is going to continue all the way up to clear this range. If it continues to reject here, then we move back down. Gold is moving about the opposite of the dollar right now. Very straightforward. So if the dollar pushes up, gold is moving down. So I was trading UJ, this daily swing position at the daily 88.6 off of the hopes that the dollar would rebound. If the dollar is not rebounding, then neither will UJ. To clarify the point about the war, by the way, there was a ceasefire, and then over the weekend they resumed fighting in Gaza. There was bombs that were sent on both sides, and now Hamas and Israel have resumed. This is going to get uglier. And I think that this second time around, when you have a ceasefire and people taste peace, and you start it back over again, the chances of stopping again are very, very hard. America is the only one that can be the referee here. But the whole world has told America to fuck off. Be like, stop interfering in our stuff. Stop, meddling in this. It's always America, leave us alone until the whole world goes to shit. And then it's like, guys, please come save us. Please come help. And I think that that's exactly what's happening here. Are you still in UJ or did you get closed out? I was in break even. I just got closed out. I still believe in the trade, but we're going to have to be patient about these. Whenever you have a geopolitical conflict, guys, anything can happen. And if you're trying to force a trade as if it's the regular market conditions, and you continue to re-enter a trade because it's at the level, you could lose a considerable amount of money. There's a reason I'm choosing to stay out of this NASDAQ trade, even though it's very likely to rebound all the way back up. And that's mostly because the risk that this thing continues to drop is pretty high whenever you have news events that are this important for the world. This could destabilize a lot of things in the world. And so I'm not trying to keep forcing those trades. UJ is still valid as long as it's sitting above that daily support. And even NASDAQ is still valid. But I'm making the decision today as a risk manager and not as a technical trader to stay out of this one. I believe... Oh, I'm still on UJ on my personal account. This one was not in break even. Only the challenge was in break even. Why am I doing this? I'm making different choices on my live. I feel like I'm trading this challenge a little bit like, you know what I'm saying? I'm making great decisions on my live, as I always do. I'm making all the right choices. But I feel like on the challenge account, I'm just playing this thing a little bit weird. Do you guys notice? I think it's like, I don't want to look. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck could be. It could be the thing. But yeah, NASDAQ is still valid. It sucks to have to miss it, but it is what it is. It's about to be 10 a.m. We're at the 88.6. Just accept the risk, yo. Accept the risk. Let's see what the news is saying. Not that the news is gonna give us the full story. Let's just see what's happening here. I made $1,500 off that drop. Okay, cool. You still in UJ? Navy ship got bombed in the Red Sea. Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. A U.S. ship getting bombed is not good. America does not play nice. Okay, here's the thing about U.S. politics and about U.S. foreign policy as it relates to the military complex. America has a massive guilt factor over what's happened in the past 2 decades. You know, between the invasion of the Middle East, between the invasion of Iraq, between the destabilization of Syria, between what happened in Afghanistan, between the destabilization of Libya, between what happened in Egypt. You just keep going, right? America, it got some blood on its hands. But the new generations are not too fond of going back into endless wars that are going to cost us trillions and destabilize regions and then ruin our national security. So there is less desire for America to get involved in foreign politics than ever before, especially amongst the citizenship. Now, the thing about America is America has a problem of not mobilizing until it's go time, until all the chips are on the table, until a 9/11 happens. You talk to service members who served, they say they would never wish for another 9/11. Ever, 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 ever. But they would all wish for another 9/12. 9/12 was a day where the entire country got together in a unified way, put all the differences aside to understand the national security and the national unity was more important than the individualized differences that separated us. The things that all brought us apart or brought us together were more important than all the things that separated us. That is how America really works. So it's all fun and games until a Pearl Harbor, until a 9/11, until something happens that drags America into a conflict. And then Churchill got to pick up the phone and call us to come save the day. Got to hit a couple Bay of Pigs invasions, you feel me? Come save the day. That's just what we do. So I pray that that's not a situation that we have to get in. What did we do? We threw the MacArthur or whatever it was called, the Navy ship in the Mediterranean, just to pull up. Bro, I'm not saying I'm gonna come shoot somebody, but my big homie, just pulled up with 3 AKs on his shoulders and all of his boys, and they're just standing there. They're not gonna touch nobody. But if anyone wants to get involved in this conflict, they're gonna step in. So they're just standing there. That's a good presence to have. The U.S. being there to let y'all know, like, don't get too crazy here. Okay, you guys are having these differences and you're keeping this contained. You start throwing rockets across borders to countries that have got nothing to do with this shit, and we're here to stop it. We do not want to get to that point. America gets involved. This is you know what I'm saying, guys? This thing is really right on that brink of massive danger. And being from that region, I understand it really is just a dime. It'll switch and this conflict could escalate. So ideally it doesn't. We're going to be watching this. The markets are betting that it will. And I think that same thing that happened with Russia, Ukraine, same thing that happened when the Palestine conflict first came out. First, there's a panic. Okay, shit, this is World War III. Right now, with the spike that we saw on gold and what we're seeing right now with NASDAQ not respecting levels, the market is betting on World War III. Now, as these news events continue to come out and say that peace talks and communications have been opened again, the Egyptian president has met with the president of Palestine. The Egyptian president has sent a letter and they're doing some kind of thing. And we start to see a pathway to de-escalation. I think that is what's going to help the markets recover. All right. But we do need that pathway to de-escalation in order for the markets to not just crash out of the sky, which it kind of looks like they want to do. Guys, are we cool on this? Is everybody on the same page? Are we good? I hate NASDAQ, guys. Sometimes no, I love NAS, but I hate NASDAQ sometimes because all of us are susceptible to getting tricked occasionally. This is so possible. This is still so possible. We could have a break, obviously, because the news events are playing a way bigger role. But just from a technical standpoint, like I've seen the markets do this so many times to me where I'll hit a this and this hasn't happened in over 6 to 7 months, like since before the probably before the FX summit, where I will over risk for the day and have to basically walk away, and then the trade will inevitably play out. It's happened a few times. Cody says, I don't think there will be a de-escalation. There will be. Israel is very headstrong. I understand that, but there has to be a de-escalation only because Israel can't do whatever it wants. Israel can only do whatever it wants with the support of the international community. Okay, so America being on the in the Mediterranean is kind of giving them a free pass to do whatever they want. The second we remove our ships, it's not gonna. You know what I'm saying? This is not a good situation for Israel to be in. So I think it is in everyone's best interest to de-escalate. You have 13 hostile neighbors around you that have no intention of seeing the continued slaughter of the children of that region. And at some point, they will coalesce, and they're going to tell the international community that if you don't do the Arab states, right now, the idea of Arab neutrality, this peace treaty between the 13 largest Arab nations and Israel, it's tiptoeing the finest line. No one wants to support Iran in this endeavor against Israel. But if Israel continues to do this and the international continues to rack up a death toll that is just unacceptable for the Arab nations to really accept, they're going to have to step in. Now, that's where de-escalation happens, because that's when the G7 countries are like, okay, whoa, maybe we can't just give so-and-so countries a free pass to do whatever they want. Maybe we really do have to search for a path to de-escalation, because then America will have to get involved if the Arab neutrality goes out the window. And nobody wants that. Guys, nobody wants that. You understand? Extremism is still very real. And if there's a reason to mobilize that extremism, it's going to get very ugly in a lot of places. So de-escalation is the only path forward. And unfortunately, we might not get that de-escalation until shit really hits the fan. But an American ship getting hit is definitely on that side of escalation. Still click the link even though there is no NAS discount code. No, okay. Well, the first day is already done. So I'm gonna be completely real, guys. The masterclass already begun. We had the first day yesterday. It was incredible. Had some slight technical issues, which are all resolved. If you guys attended the NAS100 masterclass last night, give us your thoughts in the comments section. Let me know what you thought of that experience. Was it? And I'm gonna make up the 20 minutes that we were kind of going back and forth trying to get people onto the stream. I'm gonna make that up for you guys in the fourth day. I give an extra 20 minutes there, but just let me know. What was your thoughts about the NAS100 masterclass day one yesterday? Do you feel like we hit some topics that were eye-opening, or was it just some stuff that you've seen before? Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about that class. All right, there goes NASDAQ, which means UJ's got a very good chance of popping off from here because they've been kind of counter trading. Oof. Oh. Ouch. Oh, I feel it right here, guys. Oh, might have to go back to the gym after this. I need some ice cream. Oh, I have a podcast, not a podcast. I'm getting interviewed by top tier trader. I don't even know why. I'm not a top. I don't use top tier trader, but we're good friends with the folks over there. They're launching a new podcast. They invited me over to go do an interview. What topics would you guys like us to cover? What do you guys? They were asking me like, what do you want to talk about? I was like, fucking trading, the FX Summit. I don't know. So let me know what you guys would like to see us talk about. Walter said Masterclass was amazing as always. Dwayne says very informative. Dwayne, wait till you see today. Today is the fun. Today is where we get into the technicals and how the market actually works, how the different sessions work, looking at the previous sessions and then looking at New York, those big volumes, the big volume sessions. Tonight's going to be fun. Are we back to World War III theory? Yes, Pops, we are. Good morning, Pops. How you doing? At work watching the streams. Everybody say W Ray in the chat for my dad showing up to the streams. Said it was amazing. I can't wait for today. Me and you both, Miss Katie. All right, are we back to World War III? Yeah, so the World War III theory is basically we're right in the middle of a conflict. De-escalation is on this side, World War III is on that side. Oh, he said the like button, not the link. Oh yeah, smash the like button even if there's no promo code. Come on now. Okay, so we're kind of in the spectrum here where this is World War III and then this is de-escalation right here. Okay, we were just chilling. I said W Ray, yes, sir. All right, so we were headed towards de-escalation with the ceasefire. And that's why the markets were getting very enthusiastic. We saw gold starting to crash. We saw the dollar. We saw NASDAQ just continuing to climb up. As soon as that conflict entered again, we just hit a quick U-turn. And now we're back right here, closer, heading towards World War III. Okay? And so the closer that we get to World War III, the more the markets are going to continue to crash. Okay, this is getting very, very real. Very, very real. Don't enter this position, by the way, in case you guys saw this. Things are not looking good. I haven't seen NAS act like this since there was actually something wrong with the world. I haven't received the class from last night after it got disconnected. Robin, everybody check your emails. We send out emails with everything that happens. If there's a scheduling issue, if there's another link, we send out, we try our very, very, very best to communicate as effectively as we can. So a lot of people are just like, oh, it ended up in spam, or I didn't see it, or whatever it is. You got to check your emails. All right. We really are trying our best to over communicate and make sure that we're not just like if we get disconnected, we're not just hoping that everybody's going to get back on. We're sending out an email reminding everyone, hey guys, just a heads up. Here's the link that we just talked about on the stream. Make sure to click this one. So check your emails, guys. Good morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't make last night's class because of a prior family obligation. Do you think yesterday's video will be available sometime today? I'd like to watch it before tonight. George, I do believe, yeah, it'll 100% be available by tonight because they're already the video is already uploaded. I just need to give everyone permissions to the online class. Just as a heads up, if you guys, or when this is all up, you guys are going to get an email if you're in the class. You'll go to the website, go to your account right here. Just click on your name or click on your Avi and go to My Programs. Let me refresh this. Frenchie's in the Zoom says W Ray. Bianca says W Ray. Appreciate you guys. For the love. Okay, so haven't launched the December one just yet, but if you guys are in any of the programs, you'll just click that program link and then they'll all be right here for you. You can hit view the program and then you'll see all the different sections. The recording will be when you click section 1, you have to go down to the actual first task. Okay? You'll have the full recording here. You'll watch it. You'll hit complete step, and then you can move on to the next one, and then it'll be available. You can't move on to the third day until you've finished, the second, third, okay? At the very end, there's going to be a final review day. You're going to schedule your final exam. Actually, we just switched these around where you do your final exam, and then you schedule your final check-in. Because in order to get your certificate, I want to make sure that you're all ready to go before we send you out there into the wild, wild world. And so we have a 15-minute call scheduled where I just get to talk to you face-to-face, answer any potential questions, make sure that you're ready to go, build some confidence, and then get you out there into the field. The final exam is just supposed to be a way for you to review all the relevant information. You're not here to get a PhD in this stuff, but you are here to use this info to make money. So the final exam is crucial to make sure that you understand all the relevant concepts that we're going through. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Awesome stuff. Holy moly. Holy guacamole. For the masterclass, folks, and just for all my traders out here, okay, you guys see the 88.6 was right here? This is where I was trying to take entries this morning at that 88.6. The market closed below. That's the first sign of a reversal. You have a clear closure below the 886 and a clear closure below that low. All right. The next candle retraced back up and closed under the 88.6 and used it as resistance to push down. This thing might come back up for one more touch later before it continues to the downside. Okay. Just a little quick tip for you guys on the flip side. First day was a great call. First day was great. Called me out on exactly what I was doing, constantly changing strategies. Yeah, Jermaine, that's a big one. No party hopping strategies, yo. It's very easy that when something stops working to throw it all away. Like today, we tried to enter at the 886, it didn't work. Should I throw away my whole strategy? Right? I lost more money than I would say I was comfortable. I lost more money than I would have liked to lose today. Does that mean I should throw my whole strategy away? Of course not. Because we had 30 streams in a row that were successful. One trade is not going to make or break the to take a look at UJ. Oh wow. Please tell me I didn't get kicked. Of course I did. But what does that say? $200,000. Am I tripping? Timeout. Oh, I thought that said $200,000. All right. Well, when this trade hits TP, I'll make back the losses for the day. That says 200 grand, doesn't it? That's not good. That's not good at all. What is happening? Gotta make sure I'm not over risk or something. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. David, I appreciate the heads up, man. I definitely got hit on the challenge account though. He said somebody over leveraged. Kyle, I'm assuming you just showed up. I was a bit over risk. Let's be 100% real. But here's the difference: is that I accepted the risk. All right, like it wasn't like I didn't know what I was risking. I saw it. I was like, that's not going to feel good. That's not going to be a fun day if that doesn't work out. However, it's not catastrophic, and I'm willing to accept that risk. And so I made a conscious decision as a grown man, and I'm going to lay in the bed that I made. It's just the way that trading goes. Am I up on the challenge? I was, but after a series of losses the past 2 days, I am now down about 3.5%, which is perfectly fine because if I'm going for 1 to 2, 1 to 3 trades, I'm only 2 trades away from making it all back. But that's not, most likely won't be today. He says Dwayne is probably up 1 million on those gold swings. But if he's still up, Dwayne, if you're still in that gold trade, I know you're up multiple M's, not just one. That gold spike was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Kyle said, not you, bro. Oh, you're talking about 7%. Because of that, I'm down 7% on my challenge. From party hopping? Well, Jermaine, it's probably the over. Yeah, Kyle, good point. It's probably the over leverage, brother. We don't get down to negative 7% without some over leveraging, right? I'm not down 3.5% because I lost a trade. I'm down 3.5% because I was over risked a bit. Let's be honest here. And this is what I talked about earlier this stream about misdiagnosing the issue. If you're misdiagnosing what you did wrong, you're going to be fixing the wrong thing. You might have something that's working for you, and you change that, and then you keep all the stuff that's hurting you, right? It's like you gotta accurately diagnose it. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Okay. So dollar is finally rebounding. So we're gonna get that UJ push. All right. I just took a re-entry for UJ, but I just had to lower the risk insanely for this trade. I'm looking at this more from a swing trading perspective. If all the money is leaving this risk asset, I'm assuming Bitcoin is going to drop. Holy hell, man. This is so strange. Where's WTI? Here we go. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. We have NASDAQ dropping. We have the dollar pushing. And we have gold dropping as well. So money is leaving gold and NASDAQ, ending up in the dollar and ending up in oil. But Bitcoin is still rising? That doesn't make sense. Bitcoin should be dropping along with NAS and gold. We're going to have to give this to the end of the day, guys. This correlation is not making too much sense at this current moment, but that's just because I haven't really looked into the data too much. We'll see what's happening here. For now, no trade. The next area of interest, because we talked about this a few weeks ago, there was 3 levels I needed you guys to remember. What is the next level of interest for us down here? Who remembers this from the last market outlook? Sadly, I bought a challenge with a time limit, and this is my last week. I should have done my own research. Well, Brian for sure should have done the research. However, do you get a free redo if you're above break even? Up about a 0.25% here on the live. I'm still positive, but I don't think they do that. Damn. All right, Brian, this is what I would tell you. On the last week of everyone's challenge, they just go, they have two choices. Just give it all you got, Hail Mary the thing, and then hope that one trade makes it all. The next option that you have, which I believe is the best, is to build good habits, which is keep trading as if there is no time limit. Why? It's better to fail a challenge and build good habits and really just make good decisions instead of making bad decisions, YOLO, full margin, whatever, and then losing a challenge. Because you're going to make a bad decision like YOLOing or FOMO or just over trading to try to make that up, that 1% or 2% up. And what you'll end up doing is reinforcing that negative bad habit with massive emotion. You're going to lose and be upset, and you fucked up, and you made some bad. It's just going to be a giant mess. Prioritize making good decisions and building good habits instead of winning. Because if you're going to sacrifice your habits, you build some shitty habits just to pass. Guess what? Those bad habits are going to stick with you. I know it's not what people want to hear, but this is just the reality of trading. We can't just break rules because we want something to happen. We got to be methodical about this stuff. Said gold is going crazy. Yeah. I'm so confused. I'm not in this gold trade, by the way, but I'm very confused about this. Gold actually makes a lot more sense. If I'm a gold hedge fund manager and I've been holding gold all year, right? I've been buying gold from the 1800. I've been buying gold this whole time. Look how low gold got this year. We were down at 1800. Those people are up billions of dollars. So profit taking is always going to happen. But that with the same logic, that's why we should be seeing Bitcoin coming down too. Bitcoin's coming down slightly, but nowhere near as much as everything else. Those of you guys that answered 14,500, good stuff. Okay, Us, good stuff. And then Maya, great going, guys. That's exactly right. 15,500 is the next area of interest, as we've been discussing on the market outlooks. Here's the higher time frame idea. Oh, oh my God. Bro, even the indicators? Bro, come on. Oh, I gotta add my levels again. Okay. This is my area of interest right here. This previous area of resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. This is the area I'm watching right here. How we react to this zone is crucial. What I'd like to see is price consolidate just above, come down to grab liquidity, and continue to push higher. 14,500 is the area to watch. And whoever said 14,450, you're not too far off. Okay. So since I just deleted all my stuff, I'm just going to redraw all of my zones in about 30 seconds. Give me a sec while I just redraw everything I had on here. Sheesh. Yeah, whoever said 530, ooh, 530. Damn, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Probably head down just a little bit lower. All right, that's going to be a tomorrow play. UJ's popping off. And this is the thing is like when you lower the risk, the chances of making back the money is pretty slim, but risk management is the single most important key above all. All right, I'm going to protect this trade on my live so as to not incur any more losses. I said, yeah, 100%. Just kind of mad at myself for not doing my own research and just doing what others say. Brian, it's all good, bro. Okay, lesson learned. The thing about trading is like you can't. I don't like when I say hold yourself accountable. That doesn't really mean beat yourself up. All right, like I know it's upsetting, and I'm not happy about the decisions I made this morning either. But sitting here and kind of getting down on ourselves, being like, "Oh, this and that," is not going to help make any of the money back. It's not going to help us make good decisions. So, Brian, let it go. Move on to the next. If you got to work some extra shifts to make up for it because you lost the challenge, you got to pay for another one. Then accept that. Be grateful for it. Put it over your shoulder and just keep going. I'm only like 1.8% from being funded. I'm trying to take it as slow and not over leverage. David, there you go. Okay. And I wouldn't say I'm trying to take it slow. Don't purposefully try and take it slow. Instead, just focus on selectivity. The reason that is because slow means if there's an opportunity in front of you, you might miss it for the sake of these arbitrary rules. Instead, looking at it from the risk side, 100%, that's a better way to look at it. Say I'm down, I'm only 1.8% away. So let's say if it's a 100K account, you only have 1,800 left to go, which means what is that? 70 or 80, 8,800. You're up 8,800 or 8,200, sorry. All right, so then you tell yourself, I'm only going to risk X dollars or X percentage of this $8,200 in order to make the rest of the money. I'm not going to risk more than that. Set that hard limit. Say $400, 500, whatever the percentage is. This is all I got to use. This is all the money I have in the account. Now that is what's going to allow you to be more selective, David. Because now you don't have to be like, oh, should I take this trade or that, not that trade? Like you'll take the trade. The question is, how much should I potentially risk on this? Trading is like fishing. If you want the big fish, you got to wait. Doesn't mean you got to be slow. 100%. Fishing is the single greatest analogy for trading. If you guys have been through our beginner's course, I use that example all the time. Where a great fisherman, they don't know that they're going to catch a fish. You can't just walk out there and be like, oh, point to the area and just catch your fish. That's why when I call my trade on these streams and then we actually hit, it really is that impressive. But most great fishermen just know exactly where to go. They know what time of the season to go. They know what time of the day to go. They know which seasons are not worth trading or fishing. They know which areas of the water are more murky. They know how to walk outside and look at the weather and just have an intuitive sense of, yeah, not today. Let me stay in today. When you're fishing, you cast your line and you just wait until the fish hits. You don't sit there and keep imposing your will on, it's got to happen faster. It's got to happen faster. I wonder if that's why Patrick Wayland is always fishing. I don't know who Patrick Wayland is. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Jeffner for sure, 15,500. Yes. He trades Nats futures and then often goes fishing immediately after. Oof. I don't know if I could do that. After I trade and after these streams, I gotta go do something physical. Hey Roy, what's your daily loss limit? Typically it's 1%. On days where there's some kind of unusual activity and there's like, I got kicked out of a trade, it's still respecting the zone. I know I have a good feeling that I know what the market is doing, which is kicking me out before it continues to run. I'll give it an extra try and I'll go to 1.5%, which is kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's usually 1%. It's supposed to be the absolute max. And I typically don't even like to get there, right? If I'm trying to, I really don't like to get there. Jamal said, what's going on with NAS? NAS is absolutely melting, my friend. NAS just bumped out of the range. If we recover back in, sure, but for now, I'm expecting price to come down to the 500 level. That's where I'll take that trade. Here's the 88.6 on the higher time frame. Some of you guys are asking me why I'm drawing wick to wick. Is because on the 4 hour, this is a wick. On the smaller time frames, this thing is a body. It's a solid body. And you can tell because you'll see it all line up. Okay, so we have this fib here. You'll see the 78 respected here. Let me draw a few more levels just to see if they're getting respected here. Okay, we got the 61 as our support. We got the 38 up here as that resistance. We got the 88.6 sitting at daily support. This Fibonacci sequence is being respected. We got some levels here on the outside. 1.6 and 1.217. Okay, so got some levels here on the downside. We got 600 and then 470. So I know that we were talking about this 15,500 level. Typically, the price is going to go below the psych number and say psych, and then keep going. I have no idea what's happening today. Undo, remove brush. Something's seriously off today. So I've been using the same technology for 4 years. And between yesterday and today with Zoom and TradingView, just everything is acting wonky. Everything from NASDAQ to TradingView, everything. Hey, Roy, is that a 3-drive pattern on the 4 hour? Are you talking about NASDAQ? I thought, dude, Brian, this thing was fucking bugging me, bro. It was bugging me for a while. I saw this, this, and this. And I kept checking back for the divergence. And I didn't catch it until way too late. Okay. Should have seen it coming from here. It was overbought, like it was way overbought. But now we're getting back into a territory where the market's going to be oversold. Too many sellers. And that's where I think we'll have a recovery back up. Great, great, great catch, Brian. Great catch. Wow. 3-drive pattern with divergence. Clear way to tell an end of a trend. I'm loving it. Made a bag already this morning. Meltdown, Roy. Meltdown. Yeah, for sure. But I don't chase. Like the last thing I'm going to do is trade a breakout. I sell up here. I buy down here. There is nothing else that I would do in this scenario. I know a lot of people that will make money today and tomorrow chasing and kind of, and I want to say chasing, that's has a negative term, but I would say momentum trading. I do not momentum trade. I never chase the market that's moving in a specific direction. As this continues to fall, it's getting closer to a buy zone. So I'd much rather wait for that buy area. As the market recovers, I'll wait for it to get back above a buy area, and then I'll wait for the retracement and buy that correction. All right. Spotify cuts 1,500 jobs or 15,000 jobs. Well, with everybody posting their Spotify rap this week, you would think that company's about to you're about to IPO again. I've seen all of you guys posting the songs that you're listening to. First off, y'all really listening to that stuff? This is what you're listening to? Crazy. But I saw everybody posting their Spotify Wrapped. You would think that that app is about to be the next Google. So I don't know. Is there an interest cut this week? No chance. No chance, no chance, Pops. I thought about that too. I was like, well, why? The markets are crashing for only two reasons: World War III or interest cuts or rate cuts. It's definitely not rate cuts. So I think the markets are more betting on World War III scenario. Good question, though. For the person that took the 4K loss is probably over leveraging. 4K loss, copy your NASDAQ trade. Oh, Noor. What size account is the real question? Because you don't know if someone's over leveraged, Mike. If you don't know the account size. If he says he has $1 million account and he lost 0.004%, I think it'll be okay. We can't win them all. We can't win them all. I'm gonna tell you guys the same thing that Mike Perry told why don't I want to say Jose Aldo? It's not Jose Aldo. Fucking Eddie Alvarez after their fight yesterday or 2 days ago. This thing looked if you watch the first round, you would think that Eddie Alvarez won. You would think that he was giving him a run for his money. Mike Perry goes, I was letting him hit me the first 2 rounds because I wanted to fight. I wanted to feel something. He said, I haven't really been hit in practice because I'm that good. I haven't really been hit in a lot of my fights because I'm that good. I wanted to actually feel something and get into a dog fight. So I let him have it the first couple rounds. And then I turned it up and took it all away from him. Yo, if that's not the scariest, craziest thing that you ever heard in your life, that is the level of confidence I'm trying to have. I am so good at NAS, I'll let the market have a couple of these. Let them hit just so I can feel something, just so I can get back and have a dominant win in the next 2-3 weeks. Now, I'm not saying I lost on purpose, y'all. Let's be completely real. But I know what I'm doing at this point to where I could have walked away, and I chose not to. So there was a choice here to stand in the middle and fight, and that's what I did. I walked out with a black eye, but it's okay. We're going to make it back. Pip by pip, piece by piece. All right, this is your first YouTube stream. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. My name is Roy Dunya. I'm your host, co-founder of Chart Addicts, full-time day trader, and host of the FX Summit 2024 conference. Welcome to these streams. I show you guys how I trade live, my decision-making process. And recently, we just started a new challenge where Matt Charts was very generous, gave me an ever blue prop firm challenge, and I'm doing that live. Currently down 3.5%. Will make it back piece by piece, live in front of everybody. That's called transparency. And yes, 100K said it best. Hashtag build back better. Oh, fuck. I love that, bro. So you guys are catching on. That's the exact mindset. I have a feeling I want to move my stops to break even here for this NAS trade. But what I'm going to do is just actually move it to this area, right below this area of support at 146.5. And as soon as we have a break above these highs, like I really want to see this thing push away from this zone here. that's when I'll move my stop loss to break even for this trade. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Bullish global equity as GDP positive. Fed cuts hike. Jobless claims. Government promising oil, petrol. Your bullish global equities. Petrol price cut to collect a vote. Hold on. You just said a bunch of different claims that I disagree with. 100,000%. We're in the middle of World War III and you're bullish global equities. That's interesting. We had prelim GDP, didn't we? That was last week. Okay, slight increase, but that was preliminary, Matt. So preliminary is usually not accurate. It's usually a few points away from the final GDP number. We had today is Monday, so nothing. We have ISM, we have JOLTS, ADP, useless. Yeah, but until NFP, I don't really think that we're going to have much news. If the unemployment rate hits above 4%, that's when we're going to see. That's when we're going to see Jerome Powell have a bit of a different tone. Because Jerome Powell's entire strategy is continue to raise rates until we go into a recession. Keep hiking until they break something. And so a recession looks like people losing jobs. This is the single most important metric right now ahead of next week's Fed rate decision. If everybody who's willing and able to work in the civilian population has a job, the economy keeps going. If people start losing their jobs, spending is going to take a hit, and we're going to go into a recession, you'll see Jerome Powell not hike or raise rates, or not hike or cut rates, but to mention a softer tone, to say we're being data dependent, and if this continues, then we're prepared to step in. The "we're prepared to step in" puts a giant safety net under the stock market. Okay, so you're going to keep buying because even if it drops and drops and drops, at some point the Fed will step in. That's how these institutions are making their bet. The Fed has proven to us that they will step in over and over and over again. And so the tone is going to be the most important thing, but I don't see a material change in Federal Reserve policy because of any of that news. The bullish global equities, Matt, the reason I disagree with that is the only reason I was bullish on NASDAQ is if you have a European conflict, a Middle East conflict, and some tensions in China, the only option that you really have is to go into US stocks. You're not going to park your money where there's war. And if you're going to put your money in stocks somewhere in the world, you're not going to put it in global equities. Name one country whose equity markets are comparable to America's market. Take the returns aside, just look at it from a safety perspective. America's geographic borders makes it the best place to invest. We have the Atlantic and the Pacific, right? Someone wants to throw missiles, but we're going to see you coming from light years away. We'll see you coming before you even send it. We have friendly neighbors, Canada and Mexico. We have the world's strongest military, a very robust consumer spending market where we buy the world's stuff. This is why people want to invest here, even though there's danger in the world. Typically, people don't want to invest in stocks when there's World War III. Because you're like, well, the stock market is kind of sketchy. Let me get into the dollar. Let me get into gold. It's different now. If you're going to put your money in America, would you put your money in the dollar that's losing 4% of its value? Or the stock market that's up 27% this year? It's a no-brainer. So I don't know what exactly is happening now, but I think this is World War III risk just playing into the markets. It's just the way it is. If you think that World War III is around the corner, you're not going to be holding stocks hoping for Palantir to go make a new high. Okay, you don't hope Orange Theory Fitness, hits the new weekly highs. You're going to go into defense mode. All right, everybody, it's 11 a.m. I'm very clearly not going to take a trade on NAS100. We'll come back and reassess this later. If you're holding UJ, this thing has a lot of potential. So I am holding this as a swing trade. But when you're trading around news, things can flip in a second. So just because technically everything is lining up for UJ to continue to the upside, that has nothing to do with what UJ is going to do. UJ could flip at any given second. So make your decisions over the next week based on risk management and based on the worst case outcome and not what you think is going to happen. You should be doing this all the time, but specifically when there's high risk news events, you ask yourself, before I take this next trade, how much can I afford to lose? And am I willing to accept that? If not, don't take the trade. When you're about to close profits or you're like, but if I just hold it, it can keep going. Remind yourself that during news, it only takes a second for everything to flip, and make a decision based on what you're going to be okay with if everything reverses against you. So did you try to unmute me? That might have been an accident, bro. My bad. All right. So make your decisions wisely. Ladies, gents, that's basically all I got for today. We talked about the global conflict. We talked about the exchange of hostages situation. And then we talked about how this could spill over into a global international conflict, which is why we're seeing so much market movement today. The data releases that came out are irrelevant to the risk of going into World War III. And so once we find out, once there's any news that tells us, yeah, guys, this is not World War III, okay, relax. Because right now, y'all, I'll be honest, there is no good news coming out of that region. Zero. Play this thing out in your head. Play it out all the way. There is no way that this conflict ends without a catastrophic event. Unless we de-escalate. All right. Okay, you get all the hostages back. Now there's nothing stopping you from leveling Gaza to the ground if you're Israel. That's going to give them the incentive to escalate the war, not de-escalate. Okay, let's go to the other side. If you're Hamas, you just gave back the hostages, there's a ceasefire. They just killed tens of thousands of civilians, and you have thousands and thousands of children dead. Those people's family members are going to take up arms. There is no way that this conflict ends without a international, I don't even know how to say this. Both sides need representatives from the global world, and they have to sit down and figure this shit out once and for all. The world's not going to be sitting here playing this game every decade of these two regions fighting. They got to figure this shit out once and for all. And that means the whole world has to sit down to some kind of, Geneva summit or some shit and figure out the actual logistics of how this is going to work moving forward. Because this flaring up every decade is only going to create more and more conflicts down the road. So we talked about those. We talked about, I took a loss on NASDAQ. UJ buys are still active. We talked about maintaining risk and managing risk as a key priority if you're in a losing streak, and I feel like I demonstrated that very well today. And we also talked about some reviews for the NAS100 Masterclass, which just started yesterday. So it's great to have all of you guys along. If you're in the NAS100 Masterclass, please keep an eye out for your email because we will be sending out more information about tonight's link and how to access the call tonight. For everybody else, happy and safe trading. I'm your host, Roy Dunya, co-founder Chart Addicts, a full-time day trader, and the most entertaining Forex YouTuber in the game today. And I don't even trade I do trade Forex. I'm trading UJ. But I was going to say I don't even trade Forex. I'm still the most entertaining. Taking 2 weight classes. Great to have you guys with us. Drop a like on your way out, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another Market Open live trading stream, hopefully with some better luck in the markets. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us, info@chartaddictsfx.com. And we have 1 spot left for coaching. Who will be my final coaching student for the year? Who will be the person that gets access to that time to work one-on-one to get through and get you to success? I'll catch you guys later. Happy, safe trading. Peace. All right, Chart Addicts members,